start with a word of prayer so that we start our meeting. At this point, I would like to invite Pastor Lowoi so that he can make an opening prayer. Karibu.
Basi kwa heshima ya Mungu tusimame tuombe. Tunakushukuru Baba yetu wa mbinguni kwa sababu ya uaminifu wako. Tunasema ni asante kwa sababu wakati ambao umeandaa kwa ajili ya watu wako kukutana pamoja na viongozi wao kuongea mambo ya biashara ambao inanakiliwa katika maandiko yako matakatifu. Tungependa kushukuru katika kikao hiki kwa kila mmoja aliye mahali hapa. Bwana, tunaomba tuanze pamoja na wewe na kisha tumalize pamoja na wewe. Baada ya kumaliza Bwana, heshima zote na utukufu itakurudia. Asante kwa ajili ya viongozi wetu walioko mahali hapa. Asante kwa ajili ya wafanyabiashara walioko mahali hapa na kila mmoja aliye mahali hapa. Bwana, tunaomba mwanzo mzuri na kumaliza kuzuri. Itakuwa ni kwa utukufu na sifa ya jina lako. Kwa jina la Yesu Kristo aliye Bwana na Mwokozi wetu.
Your Excellency, Governor of Turkana County, our Chamber President, Richard Ingata, is here together with us today. The CECs present, Chief Officers present, Directors, invited UN agencies, World Bank, international NGOs, the business community at large. Good morning. Good morning again. It's a great pleasure for Turkana Chamber of Commerce to host this session where we have invited you so that we discuss matters related to business, so that we discuss interests regarding business as we move into the Caucasian agenda. So at this point, I would like to invite our facilitator, Rachel, so that she can move us into the next program. Karibu sana.
Good morning, everyone. It is my great honor to be here with you this morning. Honour Governor, Honour President, thank you very much for the welcome that we have received and for the partnership that is on the ground that is clearly visible today as we engage in this cooperation dialogue. Mine is very simple, to make sure that we make the best use of our time this morning and that we are able to understand and to have a deep conversation about the partnership that is proposed between the county government and the Turkana County Chamber. So without further ado, what I'd like to do is to invite our first speaker, Madam Esther Lopez, who is the CEC for Trade Agenda, and if she can give us some short remarks. Madam Esther?
Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Turkana County, the President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, invited guests, partners, businessmen, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, all. My name is Esther Lopez, CEC Trade, Gender and Youth Affairs. Just to give an overview of what we've been doing with the Chamber. Your Excellency, we have been collaborating with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, and our collaboration has seen growth in various sections in Ministry of Trade. For the last 1 year, the new team came in. But before that, the ministry had given space and around 2 million furniture to the chamber. So we have supported the chamber branch to register around 2,000 new members across the county. Also sponsored 3 cross-border trade missions in the country of Uganda. That's in Moroto, Entebbe, and also...
Your phone's mobile data is turned off, so I can't help you with that at the moment.
And also in Ethiopia, in a place called Omarate. As partners in trade development, we continue to conduct many activities together, Minister of Trade, officials, supervised elections of the chamber in Turkana, and we saw a very formidable team come into the office. We also, as a ministry, supported the chamber in Turkana in taking a survey of the effects of COVID on trade when COVID started hitting us, and they have been able to give us the survey in some meetings. First of all, they came and gave us the feedback, and in some meetings like yesterday, we came from Lokchogio, we had 2 cross-border meetings for Turkana West and Loima sub-counties. They were able to give that information to those 2 groups. We've also developed a working policy framework for SMEs, development in oil and gas, and with the support of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We have this month rolled out as a ministry and as a government, as the Turkana County government, to cushion traders from the effects of COVID. The government, the Turkana County government, avails 150 million Kenya shillings to youth and women in loans. We have done the sensitization. We have taken out the application forms, and by the end of November, we are going to give out the checks to the youth and women groups that will be successful. And as a county, as a county, we have issued about 7,300 single business permits from 2,100 licenses in 2013. And this process will undergo a reorganization in the next coming months with the organization of the Trade Licensing Act. We have concluded the process of developing a trade and markets bill, which is ready for debate at the cabinet to support the ease of operation of markets in Turkana County. Work on a one-stop shop business development center called Biashara Center is ongoing, and we have achieved 50% works at 130 million. And this will provide space for business skills, development, consulting, incubation, mentorship, market linkages, and training services. We've also signed an MOU with a partner called IFC, working for World Bank, to support in the process of automation of the revenue collection system for business processes such as acquisition of single business permits, including development of an investment portal, which will allow a faster online interaction and promotion of private sector investments in Turkana County. IFC have supported development of a strategic plan for our Biashara Center that is in Kakuma. We are going to have another Biashara Center in Kakuma. We shall shortly be signing off a tripartite advisory agreement, that is Turkana government or together with IFC and UNHCR, to mobilize resources for establishment of a Biashara or Huduma Center in Kakuma. And this one is expected to be a one-stop shop where you will get all the services with, within the same establishment. And going on, we have modernized Lodwar small or Lodwar retail or fresh produce market at a cost of 30 million, with another market in Lokitang at 19 million, which is almost at completion, and we shall be opening soon, probably at the end of December. That is what the county government put in. We have trained over 4,300 traders across the county on basic business skills with the support from partners, Invest in Africa, TechnoServe, and Ludin Foundation. And they facilitated entrepreneurship training over 300 SMEs in oil and gas on business skills to create access to market skills and finance. We have incubated 24 MSMEs in partnership with Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency Council through Product Development Program. We have also conducted or participated in 4 promotional high-level events to showcase Turkana County products. Champion for membership to North Rift Economic Bloc and Frontier Counties, Development Council to foster an expanded network of market opportunities of our products, increase volume of trade, as well as attract foreign direct investments. We have upscaled and deepened regional and cross-border trade relations with Moroto, that is in Uganda, Capoeira, South Sudan, thereby increasing supply of essential commodities at the local markets, resulting in affordable prices of commodities. And this we have done with partners, in partnership with LMS and other partners. And as I told you, they helped us with delivering us 1 unit of the UN. They have helped us to facilitate cross-border meetings, 2 of them, and we are going to have one in Amdat to bring in Uganda, West Pokot, and Turkana to talk about business. As a result, volume of cross-border trade put inflows at 280 million worth of commodity goods transacted through Kainuk, Lokriama, and Lokchogyo, with about 36 million outflows recorded. We have constructed market stalls, sheds spread across 11 locations, up from 2 in 2013 across the county, benefiting over 1,200 traders. Plans are at advanced stages to develop a management plan, including adequate staffing, to fully operationalize all newly constructed county markets, inspected and verified over 1,100 mechanical and electronic equipment, that is weighing scales, including 15 fuel pumps to ensure protection of consumers. And we also have market days. Around when COVID began, we had called off our market days. But around some 3 months ago, through NORED, we were able to open all the market days in Turkana County. So we have, as a government, constructed a meteorology laboratory for weights and measures, included equipping it with calibration standards and equipment. With support from Anti-Counterfeit Authority and Kenya Bureau of Standards, we have sensitized 300 traders on fair trade practices, including 3 awareness campaigns on counterfeit. And as a county, we have prioritized industrial development and investment in meat, fish, hides, and skins in Lomidat, Kalopal, that is fish, Nadapal, that's hides and skins, and in line with marketing manufacturing pillar of Agenda 4 of the President. So my parting shot is that in all this we have done, collaborating with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, local branch, partners in the county, we are looking forward, or we are assuring the chamber and partners that we assure you of our commitment as Minister of Trade representing the county government of Turkana. We look forward to, getting linkages and markets outside Turkana County to take our commodities outside Turkana County and across borders, across to Uganda, across to South Ethiopia, and across to South Sudan. Thank you, and God bless you.
As they clean up, can you hear me at the back? I think I can use my outside voice as they change this setting. As she was finishing her speech, you would have thought she's a private sector person, isn't it? Such compassion, please, such clear strength and partnership. Thank you so much. I think that partnership is strongly visible and could be seen from the partnership. So at this point, what I'd like to do is invite the Secretary for Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, Mr. Philip Ebei, who will also be speaking about the partnership that we have. After that, we'll give a chance for everyone in the room to introduce themselves so that we can also see, because what we know is that some of the partners she was naming are actually in the room. So on a CPS, on a governor, after the CEC speaks, we'll be able to have introductions. On a CEC,
Mic testing, uko sawa? Okay. Testing 1 2 sawa.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Turkana County, the Chamber President, Mr. Richard Ngatia, the CECs present here today, other senior county officials, the UN colleagues who are here, the NGO representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Philip Ebei. I am the CEC for Agriculture, Pastoral Economy and Fisheries in the Turkana County government. It's a great pleasure to be a key participant in this very important event today. Mine is to highlight the huge potential for the public-private partnerships in Turkana County, especially in the food security sector. Turkana County, in His Excellency the Governor 5-point agenda in his second term, highlighted food security as a critical milestone that we need to achieve. And Turkana County has the largest livestock population in this country. We have about 10 million goats and sheep. We have about 2 million cattle. And we have about 1 million camels. So there's a huge potential for strengthening the livestock marketing infrastructure and the livestock marketing itself. The county has the largest lake in Kenya, which has an untapped potential for fishing. The country, as we speak, has a shortage of fish. There's a lot of demand for fish, yet the largest lake in this country is not exploited to the maximum. So that's a huge potential that we have as a county government. The other one is the agriculture itself, the crop production, the arable land. This county has, in our estimation as a ministry, 2.5 million hectares potential for agriculture, which is not, of course, because Turkana County being highly pastoralist, it has not been fully utilized. Therefore, Your Excellency and the Chamber President, public-private partnership is critical for safeguarding the global, national, and county food security, underpinning healthy rural livelihoods, and enhancing the resilience of people and communities. So macroeconomic contribution and macroeconomic contribution, more so, is its more so is social and poor infrastructure that has an essential role to play in efforts to reduce poverty, for improving access to infrastructure and markets. Agricultural production cannot succeed in isolation without public-private partnerships. It calls for other service providers in its value chain efforts. All along the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock Production, Fisheries, and Cooperatives at national level have undergone transformative change in strategies. The latest is the Agricultural Transformation Growth Strategy developed by the national government and cascaded down to the counties, and which commits to ending hunger by 2025, halving poverty by 2025 through inclusive agriculture and transformation, promoting county, regional, and inter-African trade in agriculture, in agricultural commodities and services, enhancing the resilience of livelihoods and production systems to climate variability and other shocks. It further aims at improving services and better value for money, primarily for encouraging innovations on asset utilization underpinned by private investments or financing. The areas where the county government of Turkana, Department of Agriculture, has done so well in public-private partnership include both external and local agrovets for both chemicals and seeds stockists, including the Kenya Seeds Company, Egerton University Seeds Production Center, Silo Agrovets in Lodwar, Agrichem for support in fall armyworm chemicals, Calro in Embu, Mekele University in Ethiopia, where we have learned a lot in flood-based farming systems and technology, which has been successfully implemented in Turkana County, and Marsabit. The experience that we've gotten in Turkana County was utilized in Marsabit recently, where our engineers were requested to go and initiate the flood-based farming system in Marsabit, and it's now a huge success. The Department of Agriculture has this potential in terms of the public-private partnerships, innovations and technology transfer in organic farming, flood-based farming technology, appropriate irrigation system and technologies. Integrated pest management, where the Department of Agriculture has collaborated with GIZ, GFA, and Calro Embu to develop the fall armyworm strategy that is under implementation. Adoption of climate-smart agricultural practices is another potential area. Establishment and promotion of indigenous drought-tolerant crop species, especially so the Morulem white sorghum. This the county has boast of Morulem. Morulem has the Morulem white sorghum, which has to be promoted, and I will talk about it later on. There is need to improve collaboration among the policymakers, the private sector, and producer organizations, civil society organizations across the food and agricultural sector. In the fisheries and livestock and veterinary services, the public-private partnership has been used to enhance decentralized services in various areas that are largely considered private but public good in need. One among them is the livestock and veterinary service extension. This is an area that can be handled both by private and the public sector entities. The public-private partnership works well in veterinary services, especially in inputs, vaccination, surveillance, and treatment services. Clinical work is largely privatized unless the disease situation reaches a magnitude that overwhelms the private practitioners. Vaccination, procurement, distribution, and entire cold chain could be shared function, especially after the DVS, the Director of Veterinary Services, allowed the private practitioners to take up such roles, which suits the FCDC counties. This one suits the FCDC counties. So operationalization of the tannery services. Turkana County initiated a tannery, and it has teething problems, but we could operationalize it. And the private sector can come on board to ensure that this is a potential, because when you have a lot of livestock, there is a lot of hides, there's a lot of skins, which value addition can be done bring a lot of income to the families and the communities. So, value addition of fish and fish products, we have one private investor at Loropio Value Villages, who is doing value addition of fish, and then also the byproducts is used for livestock feeds, and it's a huge potential that we need to scale it up. Now, in concluding, a journey to self-reliance is possible, as enshrined in the Big Four agenda, as enshrined in the governor's 5-point agenda. It is possible that we can move away from relief food aid to development and managing our own developmental affairs. So it calls for deliberate effort to invest in strategic public-private partnerships, especially in value addition of high-value crops and livestock, especially in commercialization of the agriculture. At the department level, we are thinking of specializing in certain crops, especially sorghum, groundnuts, mango. You see, West Pokot County is seen to be doing very well in onion production. What is Turkana good at? We can specialize in sorghum, we can specialize in groundnuts production, we can specialize in mango. And we have already tested and piloted and seen that we are able to produce so much for this country and for the region, because we are bordering Uganda, we are bordering South Sudan, we are bordering Ethiopia. So we are geographically well positioned to tap into all these markets. But investing in the emerging livestock, and Dr. Rega will understand what is emerging livestock, the bees, the apiculture. This is an emerging livestock. So we have an opportunity there also. And the private sector is able to support us and partner with the county government and the communities in this area. And of course, attracting the private sector, we are committed as a government to bring on board the private entities, the private sector. And we are already talking terms with some investors, individual investors who are willing to come and get reasonable land in the county and do crop production. So investing in, therefore we need to attract the private sector to invest in agriculture, especially youth in agribusiness. Because for us, and I told somebody yesterday in another meeting, there's no way you can one day wake up and say, Kiambu, be a pastoralist community. It doesn't happen like this. It's a gradual process. And if agriculture is supposed to be taken seriously in this country, we need to tap into the potential that the youth have. The youth have the change agents. And we need to already start to change their mindset and their ideology so that they invest, they embrace agribusiness. And then now we are secure in the future. That way, if we just say it is for a few of us, we are not doing it right. So I think youth in agribusiness is an area that we need to focus on. And then, of course, revamping the livestock marketing. If you have the largest livestock population in this country, why are they not reaching the terminal markets? Why are our livestock not reaching the Middle East market? Why are our livestock not reaching the Moroto, the Juba, and all these markets? Why? Something is not right. And we need the private sector to walk this journey with us together. Lastly is, of course, the issue of livestock breeding and the holding grounds that we need to see how we can operationalize it using the support of the private sector. Those are a few remarks. As my colleague has mentioned, as a government and as a ministry, we are committed to partner with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce to ensure that we are transforming this county. And as I said yesterday somewhere, in our national anthem we say, plenty be found within our borders. Plenty be found within our borders. Not Kiambu, not you, where? Within our borders. Wherever you go, wherever potential that exists in that county, it must be exploited to the fullest. And if for Turkana I've given you the food security landscape, it is possible to bring this transformative change. Thank you so much.
Wow, the passion continues, isn't it? As private sector, I think there we have got so many good leads of opportunities that we can be able to step into, exploit. We have heard about new livestock, bees, I think. We have had the opportunities in the tannery that the county government has already led us in that we can step into, and also the opportunity that the youth, who are the energy and the future of this country, provide for us. So thank you so much, and we really appreciate the opportunities for partnership. At this point, I'd like us to go into introductions. Honorable Governor, as I said, some of the partners that will be doing this work are very visible. And also the most important partners that we can talk about are also the private sector that have actually called upon the office to be able to rise up for this partnership. So what I'd like to do is to, with the support of the technical team, just have the microphone go round. Yes, just have it go round from the back. Let's start at the back. Do you have the sanitizer with you? Yes, we do. Please start from the back. Let's have everyone.
A chamber member or which institution you represent.
Thank you very much. My name is Florence Nahiro. I work for the World Food Program, heading the Kakuma sub-office. Thank you.
Thomas Chika with World Food Program, also from Kakuma.
My name is Ikamare Jore, representing Toyota Kenya, Turkana. Toyota Kenya members of the chamber at the national level. Thank you.
My name's Dennis Kirui. I'm representing National Bank of Kenya.
I am Teresa from Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, Turkana chapter.
Ekjala Fred, representing a local organization called Carmo, working among the agro-pastoralists and farmer communities in Turkana South and Turkana East.
My name is Peter Lolem. I work for World Bank AFC, liaison officer. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Ashley Onyango. I'm here representing Africa Enterprise Challenge Fund for the Kakuma Calabash Challenge Fund project.
Good morning, everyone. My name is William Kihara, working with Africa Enterprise Challenge Fund, and together with IF.
Bring the mic closer to yourself so we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. My name is William Kihara, working with Africa Enterprise Challenge Fund, and together with IFC, we are implementing the Kakuma Calabash Challenge Fund.
Morning, everyone. My name is Amal Kablit. I work for LMS. I coordinate enterprise development. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dominic Ngoko, member of the Chamber of Commerce, Turkana.
Paul Lopeyok, Director, Turkana West Chamber of Commerce.
Morning, this is Joy Otieno from SAPCON. That is a local NGO working with communities to strengthen the resilience through different livelihood options.
Good morning, everyone. My names are Millicent Odhiambo, a member of Turkana Chamber of Commerce. God bless you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Okumu Edward. I'm working with the Chamber of Commerce as the sub-counties coordinator. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Otwane Mark. I'm the CEO, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce for Singishu chapter. Thank you very much.
Morning, everybody. My name is Tobias Ogutu. I'm a member of Chambers of Commerce, Turkana County.
I'm Pastor John Louoi, a member of Turkana Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also with Turkana Pastors Fellowship.
Good morning, everybody. My names are Paris Hawaii Tieni, members of Chambers of Commerce, Turkana County.
Morning, everybody. I'm Isaiah Manikori Ezuro, Director for Garite Building and Construction, and a member of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Turkana branch.
Morning, everybody. My name's Benson Ebey Longor, SMEs Chairman, Turkana County. and a member of Chambers of Commerce, Turkana County.
Good morning, everybody. I'm James Nsurani Ekidor, member of Chamber of Commerce, Turkana County.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Please hold it further, closer to you. My name is Rose Ruta, a member of Chamber of Commerce, Uasin Gishu County.
Morning. I'm Triza Kachila. I work for a Jock Radio. I'm here because I host the marketplace.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Sylvia Longoli, working for APAD. APAD stands for Agency for Cross-Border Pastoralist Development.
Morning. My name is Joseph Losuru Lalo Pronto. I'm the Vice Chair, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, Turkana Chapter.
Chamboni Mim Mahmoud Ali, Director, Chamber Chapter.
My name is Onderi Sakaria, Member Chamber of Commerce, Turkana.
Thank you very much. My name is Simon Morioki. I work for the Cooperative Bank of Kenya here in Lodwar, and I'm also a member of the Chambers of Commerce at Turkana chapter.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Patricia Kebo Nyanga, Chairperson, Youth and Women Fund, Turkana County.
Lucas Akwaita Esinyen, Director, Kenya Chamber of Commerce, Turkana Central.
Agnes Mana, representing Hoteliers, Turkana County.
Good morning, my name is Phoebe Kaman. I work in the Office of the Governor as an advisor to the Governor on Partnerships, Gender and Children Affairs.
Morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Luyanai, Director, Chamber of Commerce.
Morning, everybody. My name is Jessica Uren, Turkana East Director.
everyone. My name is Francis Edome. I'm the CEO of Turkana Chapter and your host for this event. Karibuni sana.
My name is Ignazio Martini. I'm the GSU of UNHCR in Cuba.
Thank you so much to everyone who had a chance to introduce yourself. I think we have had how strong this partnership is. Beyond the international partners who are already based in Turkana, we see visitors that the chairman, Chris Overton, has had alongside him representatives from Mexico and also Wasingishu, who are here on a benchmarking mission to be able to see how strongly the partnership is working, and also to pick some tips on how we can strengthen private sector engagement in their country. So thank you very much, even for those things. So at this point, I'm going to give a few key invited guests an opportunity to speak to us, to just talk about their organization and what they are doing with the county and with the chamber. So to begin us, to start us off, I'll welcome one of our visitors, the chairman of the chamber in Wasingishu, Mr. Winnie Kenei. Let's give him a round of applause as we
and other strategic partners, all protocols observed. And also with us, you have one leading cereal dealer in Wasingishu County, Mrs. Rose Ruto, with us. Also, she's here with us. And before I say my few remarks, sir, I wish to give this opportunity to Chairman West Pokot to say something, and then I'll proceed from there. Thank you. Welcome, Chairman.
Your Excellency, Governor Nanok, and our chamber president. My name's, the way you have heard, is Reverend Mark Lotte. I'm the county chairman, West Pokot County. I've come with my CEO and our secretariat. Part of our secretariat are here. Mheshimiwa Governor, want to say thank you so much to you because of the existing peace we are enjoying as Turkana County and West Pokot County. I thank you, and I thank also my governor and all the governors of this area for the peace. Because without peace, we cannot do trade. Na sisi kama wafanyabiashara, haja yetu ni biashara. Kwa hivyo tunasema asante. Tunafanya biashara vizuri sasa kutoka West Pokot, sehemu zile za Lumut, mpaka hapa kwetu hapa Lale, hapa Lorugum, hapa area hii ya Loya. Na watu wetu wanafanya biashara vizuri, kwa hivyo tunataka kusema asante. Na sisi kama West Pokot ni wenzenu, tunafaana kama wandugu, kwa sababu mboga nyingi, matunda, vitunguu vile mmesikia zinatoka West Pokot. Na tunaomba kwamba sisi kama West Pokot kwamba before people go to Wasingishu or Trans Nzoia to buy, let them buy first hapa West Pokot, so that whatever is not there, they go to the other side. The same thing with livestock, we are doing well. Kwa hivyo
West Pokot. First and foremost, I wish to take this opportunity to appreciate Turkana Chamber leadership, led by Chairman Pius Everton, for organizing this special breakfast meeting, bringing together key stakeholders to share opportunities and find working solutions to our current business challenges. Thank you very much, Turkana Chamber. I also wish to appreciate Turkana Governor, His Excellency Josephat Nanok, for working very closely with the business community through Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you very much, Bwana Governor. Wasingishu Chamber chapter is very keen to exploit partnership and opportunities in areas of tourism, agribusiness, value addition, and even the cross-border trade. Of course, geographically, Turkana County has an advantage bordering 3 countries. So as Uasin Gishu business community, we really wish to utilize this opportunity. We are the grain basket of this country. We have a lot of cereals, and we really wish to engage Turkana County business people so that we can actually find a market for our cereals. You can see today we are having one of our cereal dealers with us. She's very keen to exploit those opportunities. We also know that you're also providing one of the best in terms of tourism, especially through Lake Turkana. And as Uasin Gishu, in fact, we've talked with the chairman of Chamber of Commerce, Turkana County. We really want to organize our residents and business people from Uasin Gishu so that every weekend we can have some business people visiting Turkana County and exploit your tourism sector. And this one will be able to bring all of us together. Of course, you know, Eldoret is only 40 minutes from Lodwar town, so that one is very easy to do. We also know that you have a lot of fish. In Eldoret, by the way, we eat a lot of fish. And surprisingly, even the fish we eat in Eldoret is not even coming from Lake Victoria. In fact, most of it is coming from China. And the fish from Turkana is nowhere. In fact, is very rare. And you have one of the delicious fish from Lake Turkana. So again, we want to see how we can actually get fish from Lake Turkana to Eldoret markets. This one actually, it can be one of the best partnership. I've heard Banasisi saying that there's a lot of fish which is really not tapped. So again, we are working with the chairman and also we'll work with the county government of Turkana very closely. I also want to appreciate the development partners who are working with us, especially supporting Chamber like SAIB and others who are supporting our programs and our activities. To our Chamber President, on behalf of other chairmen, we wish to thank you so much for your visionary and strategic leadership, especially with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the business community. Thank you, Bwana Governor, for working very closely with the Turkana Chamber of Commerce. We are very happy. I know previously the situation was different, but now things are changing, and that's why today here you can see us in Turkana County as a business people. I also want to say, as Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we'll continue working with both levels of government to achieve the best environment to do business. So we'll continue working with you, Bwana Governor, and even the national government. My governor, Bwana Mandago, is aware that I'm here, and he said that I extend his warm regards to you, Bwana Governor, and also the Chamber President. Thank you very much, and God bless all of us. Thanks.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the confirmation of partnership, even at the level of the governor. So at this point, I would like to invite the country representative for the Center for International Private Enterprise. He is my boss. I am a consultant to the Center in Advocacy Undertakings. So Ben, please. Let's give him a round.
This is a new normal. Okay. Your Excellency, the Governor, the Chamber President, Mr. Ngatia, the Second Vice President of the Chamber, CEC is present, the Chamber Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I've been asked to use the podium. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ben Kirago, and I work for the Center for International Private Enterprise, whose banner is here. And today, as I stand here before you, I feel like two people. Number one, I feel like a midwife who helps a mother bring a child to life. Secondly, I feel like a father sitting at the reception where the baby has been born and the baby is about to be brought out. And why do I say that? As the Center for International Private Enterprise, we are funded by the U.S. taxpayer. We are funded by the U.S. taxpayer through a process we call National Endowment for Democracy. But specifically here in our work here in Lodwar is through a partnership with the USAID program on oil governance, working together with my colleague who introduced himself earlier from Cardmore, called Ekitela. And when we came here, our work was to help the chamber, especially in view to the oil sector. But today, as we sit here, I say I'm a midwife because I've seen a miracle. And why do I say that? Same time, November last year, the Chamber of Commerce was embroiled in disputes. They had gone to court, and eventually that matter had to be arbitrated. And thanks to the good work of the chamber president, they then agreed to go back to election. So last year, same time, the chamber was non-existent. Last year, same time, there was no board. But today, as we sit here, na ndio maana mimi ninaona miujiza. Firstly, the chamber has an established board that is functioning well. Last year, same time, they only had about 70 members. Today, as I stand here, they have over 1,500 members. Last year, as we spoke, they had no functional secretariat. Today, they have a fully functional secretariat, which is even growing. So I feel very happy today. For me, today is a celebration. And that could not have happened also because of the partnership with the county government. So, Your Excellency, we thank you for that partnership. The other side of me feels like a father because today I've come to witness the birth of this child. I feel like a father sitting at the reception. Mtoto sasa ametoka kule ndani. Sasa nimekuja kuangalia mtoto ni wangu kweli ama ni wanani. And I'm happy to attest to the fact that yes, this is a baby that we hoped for. And I want to thank the chamber president. And I say this specifically because when the chamber president came into office, one of the things he said that he would do is that he would distribute resources from the center. Chamber also went through a devolution process. And therefore, he distributed funds from the central. And that has enabled chambers such as the Turkana Chamber, Ikite Mizizi. So thank you, Bwana President, for that effort. It's much appreciated. Secondly, of course, we would not be here today if His Excellency the Governor had not accepted this invitation. And we believe where I come from, because SIPE is an enabler, we come to build the capacity of organizations such as the Chamber. And by being here today, we are thankful. So mine is just to say thank you all, and thank you all for coming, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to participate with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ben, and thank you for that great news and really the history, the story that really the power behind the work that we are doing this morning. At this point, I would like to invite Ms. Ashley Onyango, who is here as the IFC team representative for Kakuma. She had mentioned in her introduction about the project that they're implementing. Please give us a few words about that project, and let's use this as a chance for the private sector to know it.
Thank you so much. So as I said, I'm Ashley Onyango. I'm with Africa Enterprise Challenge Fund, which you'll also hear referred to as AECF. We are partners of IFC and UNHCR implementing Kakuma Calabaye Challenge Fund, also affectionately known as KKCF. KKCF sits under the KICIDEP Section 8, so really engaging private sector, bringing private sector to Kakuma and Calabaye area. The Challenge Fund recently just launched on last week, so we are looking to support private sector businesses and social enterprises to enter the Kakuma Calabaye market and or scale up their operations if they're already here doing business. And what we will be launching in the forthcoming year is a window really specific to supporting the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Kakuma and Calabar. So looking to support local refugee and host community entrepreneurs to build and scale their micro and small businesses through both financial support as well as technical capacity and technical assistance support. We have a website that everybody can access, so kkcfke.org, which will give you a plethora of information about the wider scope and the broader objectives of KKCF. So I welcome you all to visit our site. We're active on LinkedIn and Twitter and the social media sites, so you'll see posts about our challenge funds and the types of businesses there we are looking to support and bring to Kakuma or help to scale and grow within Kakuma and Calabar area. Happy to answer any other questions as we meet for tea and coffee later. Otherwise, really happy to be here and looking forward to engaging more. We are setting up our office currently, so we're going to be housed above the KCB building in Kakuma. And William, my colleague, will be based here in Kakuma from January onwards, so you'll see a lot more of us through those engagements. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashley. And I'll really urge everyone in the private sector to be able to go online, look at that opportunity and how we can be able to plug in. Actually, it reminds me of something that when the KCB representative introduced himself, he mentioned that he's a member of the chamber here, isn't it? And this is just a call to Toyota and others at the back. I think, Chamber President, there's nothing wrong with being a member of your chamber and at the national level, isn't it? So please consider this a call, and this is a marketing plug. Consider joining even at the local level. At this point, I'd like to invite the UNHCR representative, Mr. Ignacio Mateni, who is also a partner in the project we've just had described, to also give us some words of welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you, the organizer, all protocol observed, mainly the governor. Yeah, the governor and the president of the chamber for the opportunity of being with you today. When I talk about Turkana outside of Turkana, people don't believe me. They think I'm making it up when I talk about the coordination with the government, the coordination with the business, and I talk of development issue. Me, who I'm a humanitarian representative. And I tell them what the government is doing here. And what my fellow colleagues are doing here. When I say that, I start from the last. When I say that WFP is building water tanks and is organizing markets, not everybody. When I tell that we have a plan 5 years, 15 years, nobody believed me, to develop Turkana West. This is the unicity of this region. I pay a tribute to the governor and to the county as such that at all managerial level brings their support and their experience. But it's also a tribute of the people of Turkana, of the residents of Turkana, as we call them, being refugees or being host, of having. This is the difference of this, is how people think of other people as economic actors, not as just people. And this is an asset for this region, which is an international asset. And this is why we are here today. I need to say just 3 things today, after this short introduction. The first one is the relationship with the Chamber of Commerce. We have signed finally a national level MOU. It took a few years of discussion because there are different issues in Kenya. So we wanted to have a comprehensive MOU to show how the commitment to ensure business, it's equal to ensuring inclusion for refugees and for refugees entrepreneurs. And through the MOU, we want to support, we want that there are opportunities of support, which are not falling from the sky, but they are coming from the capacity of people to have their skills and their opportunities coming through. And we welcome the big effort that the Chamber has done, and also the vision in aligning their project to the KISIDEP in Turkana. And I would like to invite, I'm sure that the governor would agree, to have the Chamber of Commerce of Turkana to be an official member of the thematic working group on private sector in order to guide, support and encourage the private sector. So if you agree, we will bring this opportunity tomorrow to our meeting. The next point is about IFC, the Kakuma Kalo Bay Challenge Fund. I think that is a 5-year program, is done together, has been promoted by UNHCR and by the government, but has been mainly supported by our sister agency, which is the World Bank. And the World Bank usually doesn't has a mandate to the refugees. This is a change. This is a change all around the world, but I think that it's a change because of the example that we have been able to give them in this region, engaging them toward residents, this, regardless of their status. And I think this is how we have built the relationship and how IFC has decided to intervene in the Turkana. Actually, in Kakuma Kalo Bay, that I hope soon will be a municipality, we are together building the Biashara Center. The UNHCR will invest in the Biashara. We have managed to mobilize the EU and the funding from the European Union, which is a big development. We will build it for everybody. And we had in June, with the governor, with the head of IFC and UNHCR, we launched the Challenge Fund. And I think some of you had the opportunity to see the seminar that we were referring before. And this is a call, it's a business call. And the message was so simple. First come, first served. Join it. Take the opportunity. Don't miss it, because it's now. It's really now. When people tell me what is KISIDEP, now I tell them, have you applied for the IFC? Otherwise, you don't know what KISIDEP is. So this is the real touch of KISIDEP in the business. The last point is that this is not the only one. I mean, now we have IFC. I'm glad that I don't need to advocate for them anymore. But we don't want to stop here. The other one, on December, we are facilitating a meeting with UNIDO, which is another UN agency, as you know, the Industrial Development Organization, and a group of different actors, economic actors, in Dadaab, in Nairobi, and in Kakuma. And your colleagues from the county will also attend the event together with me. What we want is an enabling environment for everybody. We do it through the business. We do it through the other very important role that the Chamber of Commerce will have to further develop, the twinning with other countries, with other Chamber of Commerce, with other economic opportunity. But we do it to improve the potential and infrastructure of this region, because this region is generous. And I think the international community wants to recognize that and continue this partnership of generosity, of mindset of business instead than assistance in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Last but not least, we are going to be hearing from one of our invited guests who will be addressing us virtually. So this is a mixed media meeting. This is the ACDI VOCA LMS Chief of Party, Joe Sanders, who has been on standby and who has actually been participating virtually. So allow him to say a few words, and then we'll move on to the rest of the speeches. Thank you.
Further discussion on establishing public-private partnerships, and particularly those that are sustainable and that can be complicated in order to address the wider needs of the private sector and business community of the economy. As a program recommended both that are in line with county government strategies for economic growth and inclusiveness, but also the kind of Chamber of Commerce's agenda for advocating and supporting and protecting the interests of the business community. We've had a great partnership with the Chamber of Commerce so far. We look forward to continuing the success and building upon some of the progress that we've already made. To date, we've completed quite a number of activities, including training and governance with the Board of Governors, supporting the development of the 5-year strategic plan, assessing the effects, the impacts of COVID-19 on traders across the county, which is something that is currently being disseminated today. And we've also been making sure that markets, livestock markets in particular, are operating within Ministry of Health guidelines, and finding effective ways to reopen them and ensure that their activity and ability to serve the needs of the livestock community within the industry. However, what I'm looking for the future of our partnership here is to continue working with Chamber of Commerce and as well as county government to address key areas within our program that we think are high priorities and the ones that we can collaborate on that are high priorities for the county. Particularly, we're going to be supporting development of livestock cooperatives, strengthening their capacity, addressing what specific capacity and financial constraints they have, and looking for ways to expand their impact, and particularly their responsiveness for livestock farmers within the county. And as we continue to do that, we'll look to strengthen cross-county business linkages, and we'll be working with the Chamber of Commerce to continue to promote its advocacy for the business community. So, I apologize for not being able to be there physically, and I hope I was audible in this quick talk. And I think that the key for us is that we continue to work closely with the Chamber of Commerce, with county government, and under the leadership of His Excellency, to make sure that our program is the most responsive it can be to the specific needs and challenges within the county. And as a USAID activity, that's something that we're committed to over the long term. And I think that our recent co-creation experience and our work planning, our joint work planning with county government has allowed us to now have a platform to ensure that we're being as responsive as possible as a program, as a USAID program, to the local agenda, and particularly as it relates to livestock and the livestock sector. So with that, I thank everyone for allowing us to participate in this, and we look forward to continuing to work with all our partners that are currently in this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe, and I can confirm that you are very audible. I think the promise of partnership that the USA through the livestock management program will be doing is very clear. I think the entry points for private sector have also come in quite clearly. So we're really grateful for the partnership of USA in implementing this program in Turkana County. Allow me to recognize the GTC Managing Director, Mr. Otieno, who really wanted to join us. He actually also wanted to join us virtually. He hasn't had an opportunity because of our clash of times, but we recognize them and we recognize their partnership. We look forward to engaging with them physically at the next Senate gathering. So we come to the end of our key invited guest speeches. At this point, I would like to invite the chairman of the Turkana County Chamber, Mr. Pius Ewaton, who will be presenting to us on co-creation for public-private partnership. Mr. Chairman, welcome.
Hamjamboni tena. His Excellency Joseph Nano, Governor for Turkana County, Mr. Richard Ngatia, the President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Ms. Fatuma, the Second Vice President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, Head of UNHCR Kakuma Sub-Office, CECs, that's for Pastoral and Trade. I also take this opportunity to recognize Head of various banks here, because we are doing a lot with them. My board members who managed to come here today, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Allow me to begin by thanking the Governor for actually gracing this occasion and also hosting the President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and his first Vice President in this auspicious morning. Of course, I think it's already past, must be around past 12. It gives me a pleasure to see the close partnership being forged between the county government and Turkana Chamber, of which today's meeting is a witness. As a county chamber, we can attest to the value of that partnership between us and the county government, and which you can actually see, especially the collaboration and cooperation, which are actually led to even some appointments done for the chamber. We have the chair for Turkana Biashara Fund, Sarah Loyanai, that attests that the governor and his government are really out to work with us very closely. The appointment of Ambrose for the position of Lodwar Urban as a director, the position for Patricia Kebo as the chairperson for Turkana County Youth and Women Fund. All those fortify that relationship between us and the county government. This is because one thing I know about the governor is pro-business, is pro-private sector development. Because I remember the time when we had the first session with him in his office. That was around July. He spoke for more than 1 hour speaking about the private sector. And actually that is because also in the CIDP and the development plan for the county, in these 5 gender points, private sector development is key issue. And that's why as Turkana Chamber, Your Excellency the Governor, this is a very genuine team that is going to support you fully to ensure that you achieve in your aspiration and also objectives as a leader of this county. I also want to take this opportunity to thank and appreciate the CC for Trade and the CC for Pastoral Economy. You can see we are coming to bridge as a chamber, as a private sector, to bridge the 2 entities so that we work as a team to be able to develop our backbone economy, which is livestock production. Because sometimes we go around and say, what do we invest in? But we forget that there is no need of reinventing the wheel. Livestock is the key backbone of Turkana economy. Your Excellency, the other day, we just came yesterday with CC for Trade and Director for Trade from Loki. We were there for 6 days with Susan, who is the head of UN as one. And also we had a team from the Ministry of, that is from the Ministry of, internal, because we had the immigration, we had the KRA. For 6 days, it showed how we can co-create, we can come together. That is the county government, the national government, which was also represented by Presidential Delivery Unit, together with Chamber of Commerce representing the private sector. And thanks, Your Excellency, Captain Lokwa, who is in your office on peace, was able to take us through issues to do with the MOU that was signed between Kenya and Uganda. And we were able to unpack all those issues in 6 days, not only with the members, but also with the business people from Turkana West and Turkana Loima. We learned a lot. Sometimes we think we know, but we learned a lot also as a chamber and also as a ministry, that there's a lot that we need to do together, so that when the opportunities come, we're able to pick on the gaps and be able to fill those gaps. Your Excellency, I also want to take this opportunity to assure you that our national chamber, in the leadership of our president, that you have his support. I was with him last evening and he was very keen. I told him he dashed a bit, but he'll be back in the morning. He's very keen to support your leadership in Turkana to ensure that you deliver. Not forgetting the vice president too of the chamber. You know, we have two vice presidents. There's 1 and 2, Fatuma. She's very committed. So be assured that you have a team that is out to support your leadership. Your Excellency, if you look at how we want to package our engagement, my president is going to explain that, because you know when my president is here, I'm not supposed to talk a lot. I'm just supposed to be very brief. Exactly. So, Your Excellency, there's a lot that we are getting out from the external partners. And I'm happy and attest that this afternoon, through SD FOCA. Immediately when there was that declaration about the COVID-19 as a pandemic, we went around Turkana County when our entire region was was locked. And it's out of their support that we were able even to do that small report we shared with you in your office regarding the impact of COVID-19 on businesses. So Your Excellency, just inform you that we are working with our partners here and looking at areas where we pick key issues and be able to run with those issues to be able to support our private sector development. I had a long speech, but I'm going to cut short because there's a lot that has been spoken by people. I don't want to dwell on that. What I only want to conclude is that the business community, you have a county that is ready to support you. It is you now to take advantage of that leadership, the support, and be able to move further, encourage more people to join the chamber as members, so that we're able to develop a system that we can share with the county government. Because if the county government doesn't know what is happening with us, how will they help us? So this is my passionate appeal to those who are not members of the chamber, because I know most who are here are our members, so that you actually become members, so that we develop, package, and create a database for you, so that we're able to engage with the county government, development partners, so that we move our agenda ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and really thank you for going to the crux of the matter and being able to talk to us about the co-creation partnership, but also the content of some of the things that we would like to achieve through this partnership. And at this point, I would like to invite, let me sanitize first. I would like to invite the Chamber Second Vice President, Madam Fatma Elwani, who will be speaking to us, and she will also take the opportunity to invite the Chamber President to the podium.
Asante, Rachel, Your Excellency, Governor Nanok, my Chamber President, County Executives, Development Partners, my Chamber family, and this family, first headed by the Turkana Chair, because it's because of you we are here. And of course, I'd like to appreciate Chairman Wasingishu, Willie Kene, and then Chairman West Pokot, Reverend Mark Lotte, for actually showing that at Chamber, we are a family and we do things together. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to be standing here today. But before I continue, allow me to first congratulate and thank Governor Nanok for the excellent work that has been done. Mheshimiwa, I almost got lost yesterday. I've been coming to Turkana, and I thought I knew Turkana until I landed. And there was so much that was different that I'm like, oh my God, this is excellent. And for that, asante sana. For me, is to appreciate this forum, as this is where development conversations begin. You know, this in sales, we say that it is the conversations that actually make the conversions. So for us to be here, what we want to do is to enrich this development conversation. Our mandate at the Chamber is advocacy, trade missions, and networking. Si tuna network leo, isn't it? Which is great. Now, when we are talking about advocacy, Your Excellency, I again should not talk a lot, we will be coming to you and COG to assist the Chamber. The trade ministers, the trade CECs, have spoken a lot about what is there in Turkana. You are blessed with livestock. But this livestock can help us better. And for this livestock to help us better, Chamber is there because Chamber creates market opportunities. Mheshimiwa, we shall continue to engage. We also have a project in Turkana, which is part of the FCDC counties, and this project is basically to scope. We want to know, you are talking about livestock, you are talking about fish, you are talking about bees. This information is crucial to Chamber, so that wafanyi biashara ama investors wakija, we are able to talk to them and we are able to tell them. So Turkana is blessed, and the task at hand is to take advantage of these opportunities. Mheshimiwa, ladies and gentlemen, development partners, we are here. Use us, because that is our mandate. What we want to do is to assist every county. This is a pledge of the Chamber President that resources will also be devolved, opportunities will also be devolved, and our Chamber President is attesting that today by us being here. Mheshimiwa, you spoke about pastoralism. The Chamber President has actually created a committee on livestock, which I think is fantastic. And I don't see why all the livestock that goes outside of this country, most of it does not come from Kenya, quote unquote. What do I mean by that? It goes to neighboring countries, and then those countries export to global markets. That needs to stop. And for it to stop, when a governor, we shall need your assistance, because we advocate the government for better policies on economic empowerment. Kindly assist my president to make this possible. So for me, yangu ni kuwasalimia na kuambia kuwa as KNCCI, we are with you as you continue on this development journey. Asanteni. It is also a pleasure and always an honor to invite my chamber president to give us a few words of wisdom. Yes. Sanitized. As they say, this is the new normal.
All right, thank you very much, Chamber Vice President 2, Fatma Almawi, for inviting me. Asante sana. And of course, I want to thank Rachel Muthoga for taking us through this session very well. So asante sana for that professional services that you're providing. Your Excellency, the Governor, Josephat Nanok, the County Executive Committee members, let me also acknowledge the Chamber Chairman Pius Ewaton, who was here, and the Chairman of Turkana County Chapter. Let me also recognize members of the NGC, that's the National Governing Council of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who are here. They have spoken to you, and thank you for joining us, and that shows a lot of unity, like alluded by Fatma as well. I want to recognize site representative, country representative rather, Mr. Benson Kirago, and I also want to recognize the presence of UNHCR, Mr. Ignacio, he was here, IFC representatives, LMS, that's the Livestock Marketing System representatives who are here, and also not forgetting our patron members, and these are the within the financial institutions and the banks. We've had Cooperative Bank is here. They are actually our patron members as well as not members at the county level. So thank you very much. Let me also recognize the presence of Africa Enterprise Challenge Fund who are here. And also I want to say, Your Excellency, please receive greetings from the Permanent Principal Secretary, Jackson Weru. He's the PS in Mutual Industrialization, and he says he's your very good friend. He passes his gratitude and greetings. So without further ado, I really want to appreciate and take this opportunity to thank Your Excellency, the Governor, and the county government of Turkana, and all the industry stakeholders for their commitment and this partnership we have realized today. So we are honored to be in this forum. As a private sector leadership, we recognize the unprecedented challenges posed by the COVID-19 since the first case that was announced, and this has had a very negative impact globally and also in our country, Kenya. So we express our utmost appreciation to the government partners and the frontline health workers globally for their contribution and sacrifice in protecting public health. And we must recognize the frontline workers in this county who are working tirelessly to make sure that we are safe. The private sector has a big role and, of course, part to play to support the economic recovery process. We reaffirm the utmost importance of the collaboration at all levels and globally to hasten our fight against COVID-19 and commit to work closely to defeat this pandemic with the urgency it deserves. When I embarked on my leadership to achieve this mission, I had my key pillars, which were mentioned earlier, and this is to build members, service, and value. And I want to also just remind you that also to add value, we walk around the counties, engaging our members to make sure they understand, they also unlock their potential, we unlock their potential, and also make sure that we capacity build them. And this we do in conjunction with our partners like SAID, like BAF, and many others, including USAID as well. Currently, as we speak, there is a capacity building session going on in Marsabit. There is one in this county with one of our finance institutions, which I'll talk about later. And today, as a team, we have been able to live to our true vision and expectations. So where we have built and contributed to a vibrant business community and added value to our membership through our strategic initiatives and engagements with both the public and private sector partners and stakeholders. So if I can just talk a little bit about our key achievements and partnerships, we, as a chamber, has continued to conduct outstanding programs and activities as we have expanded our economic development partnership to span to all our membership and counties across the country. We have also launched several initiatives to promote opportunities for our members across the country. Within our strategic development priorities and goals, we established mutual partnerships with key partners and the business community to accomplish our immediate programs. We have achieved the following milestones, and this is just a few that I just mentioned. For example, we have established a strategic partnership with the MasterCard Foundation to support MSMEs across the country, and with a working capital and liquidity through credit facilities, grants, and here we are working with all county chapters and our affiliate business associations such as the Jua Kali sector, who are 16.1 million members, hawkers, who are about 3 million members, the fashion industry, we're working with Mama Mboga, we're working with different sectors across the country, and many other associations who are members as well. Currently, we are offering 31,000 Kenya shillings to the informal sector. This is Mama Mboga and the artisans, so that they can be able to uplift their standards of working and also sustain their businesses. And these funds greatly support their businesses. We have so far trained many of our members, and many of them have applied. And since we launched this program about 3 weeks ago, we have disbursed about 34 million Kenya shillings, and we are yet to disburse 600 million Kenya shillings. So we are asking Your Excellency, the Governor, your support so that we can be able to reach out not only to the 2,000 members who are within our membership, but more people. If you do your math, the 2,000 members, if they apply, all of them, we shall be circulating 60 million Kenya shillings in this county, just for the 2,000 members. And this is within two months, where we expect them to repay. But remember, this is a revolving fund that one can be able to reapply again. Your Excellency, we do have another exciting program, and in partnership with our patron member, Equity Bank, and this is to support SMEs on post-COVID-19 recovery. Now, in this program, Your Excellency, we are making sure that we train and we capacity build. We have already trained 31 counties so far. We have already prepared them, and these members, who are about 12,000 already, are ready to receive the funds. Equity Bank last week during our National Governing Council meeting announced that they have already disbursed 1.2 billion to our members, and the funds allocated are 3 billion, 200 billion Kenya shillings, targeting 3 million members. The criteria is very simple. You have to become our member. That is the criteria. And there is no collateral, and depending with your cash flow, then you shall be able to negotiate with your representative branches as well. As we speak here, and I want to thank the chairman again, Pius Ewaton. He has led a team that is being trained. Currently, as we speak, there's a training going on by Equity Bank for those members who benefit in this county. We have also partnered with Trademark East Africa and financial sector deepening through the Swedish government. And this is to support women on regional and cross-border business programs and retail pay through working capital and business development services. So we had a pilot which that program actually ran for about 3 months in Nairobi. We were able to support traders to engage with the manufacturers, to engage with distributors, and to be within the system. And we are now rolling out to the entire country. KNCCI has a partnership with the Ministry of Health. Again, this is to support the government, Your Excellency, in making sure that everybody in the country, and particularly the vulnerable groups, are safe during this COVID-19 pandemic. And what the government initiative is that the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry will lead this initiative to provide and issue orders to our members, our manufacturers, number one. Number two, the fabric manufacturers in this country, and also the local tailors, to support them, to support their businesses. But eventually the government is going to give out these masks for free, reusable masks, 7.5 million masks. This exercise will begin next week. We are working very closely with the Kenya Bureau of Standards and also KENSA to make sure that each participant or each applicant is going to meet the required specifications by WHO. And that meeting has been fruitful, and we are waiting for the approval so that we can be able now to issue out the orders to all these tailors. Now, we have also established and registered a national circle that has started its operations, where we invite you to join as a member. So once again, this circle is just is an initiative so that we can have a place as members of the chamber to borrow and also do your businesses, and with a minimal interest free. So again, one of the exciting partnerships that we have had today is an MOU and partnership that we signed with the Council of Governors, and this is to facilitate collaboration between the parties in matters of common interest to promote inter- and intra-county trade, as well as enterprise development and competitiveness. And I want to thank Lotte because he narrated and said how these two counties, Turkana and West Pokot, 2 years back, really they could not engage in any trade. And today we have seen that peace. So Your Excellency, please receive our blessings, and also to thank you very much for making sure that there's peace and stability in these two counties. I also want to say that in partnership with ICGLR, this is International Conference of the Great Lakes Region, the private sector forum of 12 states in partnership with United Nations, the Special Envoy. We are working very hard to make sure there is stability. There is also no conflict between the borders of these 12 states. You've mentioned a few. You've mentioned Uganda, Somalia, Sudan, and the DRC, Congo, Zambia. All these states, we want to make sure we integrate and reduce conflicts, and particularly in DRC, by making sure there's trade between these countries. And as of 2 days ago, we had a meeting, and this is a follow-up of a meeting we had in France. This the other day we traveled with His Excellency the President. We had a meeting with the ICC, and they have agreed to support Kenya in... Yes, this ICC, you know there are two ICC, so International Chamber of Commerce, and therefore we are in partnership with them, we work closely with them as the chamber and of course through the World Chamber Federation, and they have accepted to support Kenya so that we can support SMEs through enterprise hubs, which I have heard the CAC has already mentioned that there's a hub that is coming up. I think the CAC Trade, Youth and Gender. Yes, you've mentioned about a hub, and we can work very closely through the MOU that we have signed with the Council of Governors so that we support you in making sure that the enterprise hub is functional, and not only that, but to open markets, to open opportunities within these regions so that our SMEs and members can be able to benefit from that. And we want to thank you, Excellency, because we have heard you've supported the Chamber in furnishing the offices, the survey of COVID-19 effects, working in collaboration with the Chamber, cross-border meetings that you have had. You have mentioned several things, including the CEC of Agriculture and Livestock. You've mentioned about how we can be able to enhance partnerships, and particularly public-private partnership. This is very key, and in any bilateral engagements that we have in any country, this is always emphasized that it is key and it is time, it is right for private sector to partner with the government and also the county government. And as we unpack the MOU we signed with the COG, which is here, we are now requesting the local chapter through the chairman to also localize the MOU that we signed so that you can also have a partnership and agreement with the county here in enhancing these partnerships. So again, we mentioned about the livestock and the unfortunate scenario where our livestock actually is marketed by other countries. And I'm asking the ministry and the county of agriculture and livestock as well to please embrace making sure that we have free disease zones. That is the only way you're going to attract, Your Excellency, you're going to attract the Middle East and any other countries that are looking for beef, mutton, or any other related foods. So once we have these free disease zones, then even the farmers will realize a good profit, because what happens is they take their livestock all the way to Somalia, and probably they get one goat at less than $50. But the Middle East will buy the same goat after 3 months for about $300. So I think that is one area we are ready to partner with you. We have had MOUs with Oman, with UAE, with Saudi Arabia on the same. So Your Excellency, we are going to again discuss that at another stage. So again, in partnership with the Private Sector Forum of the 12 states, we are ready, and as the chairman, I'm ready to make sure that your products in Turkana are well marketed within those regions. And as we prepare ourselves for the African Continental Free Trade Area, I believe we are in the right place. And I want also to congratulate you, Your Excellency. When I came here, this is my first time, I was really not expecting this, because even the infrastructure, the road I think is even better than any road in Nairobi, and I must say that. When you look at the infrastructure in terms of the real estate and the way it's coming up beautifully, I really want to applaud you and congratulate you. And I have heard, of course, we want to embrace blue economy because of Lake Turkana. What is it that we can tap within that lake? For sure, everybody, when you think of a lake, you want to think of fish. But there are other minerals that can be tapped. And through the partnership with Pacific, with other countries within the Pacific region, countries, we want to participate and partner with them so that they can support us, and including Tunisia, including Madagascar, in terms of tourism. How we can be able to tap that market so that the final stage or the beginning of any tourist begins from Kenya or ends in Kenya, and particularly Turkana, so that you can be, thank you, so that you can be able to enhance as many tourists as possible. We want also to look at, for example, in Egypt, very many tourists, and it's only few items that they try to enhance so that they can attract as many. So, Your Excellency, the Governor, please allow we work with you on that front. We have also signed an MOU with other partners as well, and one of them, and very interesting, we signed the other day, I think 2 weeks ago, with UNHCR, and this is to see how we can support refugees. And I believe the representative was here and he spoke about Kakuma and spoke about the refugee camp and how we can be able to support this sector to also, because these are people who did good businesses within their countries they came from, and they want to continue with their businesses. So how do we then, as the county government, how do we as a private sector, as the government, support these people within the camps, the refugee camps, to see how they can get certification of documents, to see how they can be able to also do business outside those camps. And most of them actually, and I'm sure he can attest to that, they're very wealthy. So we want also to support them in capacity building as well. So as a chamber, we also attach great importance to this agreement, given our status as a leading membership business support organization. So this partnership seeks to support and undertake joint activities in trade and investment, business policy reforms, capacity building, information sharing, joint technical programs and activities. So moving forward, Your Excellency, we are looking at how we can continue to promote strategic collaboration with the national and county governments, support continuous partnership dialogue with county government to promote business reforms and policies to support business environment and support business development and job creation among SMEs, youth, and women. Improve on our engagement with the county chapters through key development programs and regional initiatives, and also to review and build service provision to ensure our member services hold real value and communication to our membership, and collaborate with other relevant stakeholders to build post-COVID recovery measures and coping mechanisms. We also have a few asks, Your Excellency, as the Chamber, and on behalf of the leadership, we are requesting that we have quarterly consultative forums between the Chamber of the County of Turkana to discuss county economic matters. The second ask, and as the chairman of the Great Lakes Region Private Sector Forum, I can confirm that we want to bring, like I said before, we want to bring stability and peace within the 12 states. And we want to start that here. And therefore, I will ask the United Nations Special Envoy to also have engagements with you and of course the county of West Pokot, so that we can see how we can also emulate, other counties can emulate, or other countries can emulate what you did, so that people can be able to intertrade within themselves and lessen or remove conflict completely. So, Your Excellency, that is one area that we shall be able to come to you. So in this regard, we also request, Your Excellency, as we look into the peace efforts with our neighbors as well, here in Uganda, in Ethiopia, and also how we can be able to really conduct ourselves as the private sector and not fight or have conflicts because of the resources, the little resources that we do have. We need to have everything black and white. If it is in DRC, if it is in Uganda, if there are any resources coming out of there, then it is sold within the open market. And that is what then can be able to eradicate all these problems. So I want to take this opportunity again to thank each one of you for taking time, your busy schedules, to come here, talk to us, and also tell us the challenging areas that you're facing. Tell us the exciting and positive engagements that you have had so far as a private sector, and what it is that we as the chamber can be able to do for you. I'm very excited, Your Excellency the Governor, because you have been here very patient and listening. And I want to take this further so that also we can be able to invite you with your team to Nairobi, and we can have serious other engagements. And I also want to invite you because we do have very many visits across the world and trade missions. I would want to work with you, one of the trade missions early next year, so that we see how we can tap the areas I spoke to in terms of livestock, in terms of agribusiness, and also to see what it is we can benefit on new technology. What is it and how we can be able to embrace digital economy. That is how we are going to move this county forward so that we are in competition with Europe, with America, with China. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
And now, with a lot of humility, I would like to call everybody to order as we welcome our Governor, His Excellency Josephat Paul Nanok, to give his remarks.
Okay. The Kenya Chamber of Commerce and Investment President, Mr. Richard Ngatia, the second Vice President, Fatuma Almawi, the County Chairman of the Chamber, and all the directors present, my colleagues in government, development partners representative, the UN agency officials present, and all the other invited guests. Good afternoon. I think I was patiently listening from when we began to every speaker who spoke very keenly, because this is a subject that I think should define the next phase of Turkana. But not only Turkana, but the next phase of the North Rift, the next phase of the frontier counties. When we began set up government in 2013, we looked at how best to provide service delivery in an area that had known marginalization, in an area that had known very little investment, in an area where people had very little knowledge of anything outside livestock, traditional livestock keeping, and we thought that we must have a strategy. And some of the strategies we adopted was first to make good use of taxpayers' resources in critical areas that we thought are going to support recovery and progress. Second was to take advantage of the humanitarian family, the development partners that were here, busy with either with refugees, emergencies, or busy with drought emergencies, or water emergencies or health emergencies. Third was, how do we bring the private sector here? How do we make the local private sector strong? How do we make it work? I think this last priority took us some bit of time to realize. It is only in the second phase of my governorship that we now fully got the key on how to work and attract the private sector. So what did we do? First, we say the humanitarian family that is here is an opportunity. The refugees are an opportunity, they are an asset. And we began working on the UN agencies and turning them to look at things from a development eye. And I'm glad through our so many consultations, both locally, at the national level, at the international level, I think we managed to make UNHCR half development, half humanitarian. At the same time, all the other UN agencies began seeing things also from a different angle. And I think for many of you who followed the relationship of refugees and the local Turkana residents, it used to be of conflict all the time. Every week there was always conflict over water, over so many other things. But I think that has actually come to an end. And what did we develop out of that? Was the Kalobeyei integrated socio-economic development program, which is basically a small fraction is humanitarian, but a larger fraction is development. And when you talk about a development plan that is costing, budgeted for 50 billion shillings over 5 years, and the plan is a 15-year, but the first 5 years is almost close to 50 million shillings. Then for business community, you must see the opportunities. You must see those opportunities that are inside. Because that money will have to be spent, that money will have to provide service, whether it is health, whether it is water. The business part of it will definitely be there. And I want to agree fully with the sentiments made by the UNHCR head of sub-office that indeed look for those opportunities because they have already been created. There are many others, and I think my colleagues have talked about this. The president of the chamber has talked about it, that there are various opportunities here, whether it's in the energy sector, geothermal in the south, solar energy all over. I think we are still running on generators. KPLC in Turkana, in Kakuma, in Lokichogio, in Lodwar is still running on generators. In Lokitang, in Lokori, in Lokjar, I think partly they've been running on generators. That is an opportunity that can be tapped into. The other opportunities is the fact that this is where archaeology discoveries have been made. Major archaeology discoveries. And the bulk of Dr. Richard Leakey's work is in Turkana and partly in Marsabit. So I know a number of you have followed debates we've had with him on Twitter about a science park and a museum. That concept was born here. It was intended to reinvigorate and grow the business. It was intended to grow the urban area, to bring in industries, to bring in tourism, and it was intended to be co-owned by local communities, by county government, by national government, and of course, the scientists who had the idea of establishing the science park. But of course, those ideas have never come to fruition because there were disagreements in between. And those disagreements continue, but it should have been a very major opportunity for opening up this area to the rest of Kenya and to the rest of the world. That is something we are still pursuing because I know the opportunities are going to be much greater. And of course, Lake Turkana. I mean, we have no doubt that this is the largest lake in Kenya. There's no other. The portion of Lake Victoria that is in Kenya is tiny. I think it's just a third of Lake Turkana. And this is a shared resource between Marsabit and Turkana County and Samburu. Fishing is major. Tourism is a huge potential. Transportation across Turkana and Marsabit is a huge potential. So this is a sleeping giant for those who are interested in the hospitality industry and for those who are interested in fishing and fish. You will be surprised that very little Lake Turkana fish goes to Eldoret, very little goes to Nairobi. I think except in around Muthaiga, they receive fresh tilapia almost every other day. But the rest of the fish, particularly the dry fish, the fresh fish is consumed locally. The dry fish goes all the way to DRC. And Congolese come here. Goes all the way to DRC, to Uganda. I think also the major market is in Kisumu. So that's where our fish goes. But that potential has only been utilized about 22 to 25% of the potential of that lake has been put into use. So there is still a very great opportunity for investors, both local and external, who want to invest. I am glad that very recently, one of the buyers of fish in Turkana, on invitation by us, together with a social entrepreneur who's put up an internet-based business along the lake, have come in to do value addition. High quality fillet is being made and is being exported. The remains of fish, the skin, is being turned into leather. The leather is planned to go into what we call value villages, where traditional women will be making products out of fish and goat's leather to sell to the international market. So those are the things that we are piloting right now in the lake, including internet-based businesses where young men and women who have dropped out of school are being trained on internet and doing business. In fact, C.S. Mocheru was visited that site about 2-3 weeks ago, and he was excited to find young men and women doing business with, doing business with companies in Australia, in the entire Europe, and making money in a very remote place where you cannot think about. So that's another huge potential. Of course, hospitality is major here. Culture is major here. In fact, the hotel where we are in grew as a result of our annual cultural festival, where there was huge demand for accommodation. And I think many of the hospitality industry, many of the hotels within Lodwar and elsewhere, grew as a result of that, seeing the big demand that was coming in. In Kakuma, for example, UNHCR and the agencies were struggling to accommodate their visitors. I remember a number of meetings that we came there, international meetings, where they had to give their staff leave so that they can free up the rooms, so that the visitors can utilize. So, and I think that story hasn't been sorted yet. So there are still huge opportunities and very huge traffic of people moving in and out. I sometimes find difficulties when I visit to Kakuma. There's nowhere to sleep. So it forces me to go up to Lokichogyo to look for a hotel to sleep in. So there are several opportunities for those here and elsewhere, including Shamba members from elsewhere who have an interest for investing here. But of course, many other sectors in minerals, but again, livestock, what the chair for Turkana talked about. This is the biggest industry. This is an industry we have to move progressively because, we've been practicing pastoralism here for, I think, the rest of our lives. For, I think, man began to learn that livestock was the only economy they began with. I think Turkanas have stuck to that. And I think science has proven also that that livestock industry, the pastoralism began here a very, very, very long time. So to convert that, to modernize that to the cash economy, it's not an easy task. It takes some time. It takes convincing. I think you saw the other day farmers in Uasin Gishu and Trans Nzoia being encouraged to diversify from maize to avocado. And there was a lot of resistance because people had gotten used to this, they don't know this other thing, they have a fear of what it will be. I think that is basically here. But we've got to partner together to be able to move these people from one stage to the other. And I think in the livestock sector now, we have so many businesses. We call them wachurusi. Those who buy a few goats, come and sell, go back to the village, drink all the money, go back again. So they're there. But many of them, I think I saw Vice Chairman looking at me very closely. Many of them don't have the business skills, but they are the best traders in the market. At a distance of 100 meters, they will buy a goat at 4,000 shillings. When they reach the market, that goat will be costing 8,000 shillings. But the skills of doing it needs to be put in place. And I think this is also where the chamber can grow, because those small livestock traders, it is where we can be able to build larger livestock traders who can even move further to begin adding value of this of the livestock products. But there are critical bottlenecks which we have to deal with. And I think this is the reality of our businesses here. Number one, for businesses to thrive, among many of the businessmen and women who are here, and many others outside, there is what we call the fear of loans. The fear of going for financing. People fear loans like nothing else. They think loans are there to finish them. They do not see loans as an opportunity to develop their business. And I think the chamber and ourselves, particularly yourselves, because you are composed of business people, successful business people, who've been getting loans from banks, from other financial institutions. And you know the value of borrowing, investing, reborrowing, investing, and growing your business. That fear is here. In fact, it is in this very room. So I think we've got to deal with that particular problem. And I know quite a number of businesses had borrowed money. I think like the women, there is this, what do you call it? Liftable banking. There's the other one. Kenya Women what? Kenya Women Finance Trust. I believe there's nobody who's borrowing that money now. Because those who borrowed did not focus with the money, they used the money elsewhere, and then the time for repaying came. They had to give up even household properties. to pay back those loans. I remember quite a number of ladies coming to me and telling me, please, Governor, help us pay these loans. Otherwise, they will take everything in my house. It's just because there was no knowledge on how to utilize this money, how to stick to the business, and how to grow the business. So there is that big fear of loan. And until we deal with it, I think all this financing you've talked of, from equity, from here, even the loans the county government is giving and the national government is giving, there will be very few people going for this money. Very, very few. The second issue, of course, is capital, but capital is related to fear of loans, because if you don't have enough capital, then you borrow. Then you have to have security. And I think that's the other biggest issue, because our land tenure system is still community land. We are now in the process of trying to turn the urban center land so that we have titles, community land titles, that each individual can be able to own certain land and use it as security to grow their businesses. I think that's a process we are embarking on at this moment. The other bigger problem here, Mr. President, and you need to guide the business community in Turkana. You know, businesses are family business. We are so individualistic. We don't know how to run companies that have various directors. We don't know. We've tried a few. They failed. They were tried. Basically because even in the way we own livestock, you may see several families moving at the same time. But each individual looks at their own. I think this is something that we must confront, because when you join 3, 4, or 5, or 10 of you, you can imagine what strength you have for doing business. And I think this is something that we've got to tackle, because it has been a difficulty for people to move forward, particularly for opportunities that needs huge amounts of money, which you cannot do alone, and you need partners, both local partners and external partners. And I think this is something that we will need to impart more, so that people can begin to realize that partnerships is actually an opportunity and is a benefit. It is not taking away your business. And I think that is the other biggest problem that I've been here. Then the other critical issue, and we must tackle this together. But of course, being the business person with business experience, your voice is going to be much bigger. It's pricing. You ask why livestock in Turkana is not selling elsewhere. Why? Because our market prices our market prices are the biggest. Yes, we consume, but the price of a goat locally here in this market may be the same price of a goat in Nairobi. Yes. So, what money do you make when you transport it to sell it in Nairobi? In some places like Lokori, which is about 145 kilometers from here, the price of a goat you offer is almost similar to the price you'll get in the market here. So we must deal with those. Even in the grain industry, I think at one time WFP, even ourselves, were trying to buy maize and sorghum from our farmers. But they're giving you a retail price, not a farm gate price. So issues of pricing must be well understood, and I think we must be able to discuss this and discuss and discuss and discuss, so that people can understand when you need to price your commodity at the farm, how you need to price it at the retail, and how you need to price it at the main markets that is external. Otherwise, these things will never move out of here. And we will never be able to gather that value. But of course, I think COVID-19 effects have been talked about. I don't want to elaborate on that much, but this is a problem that is with us, and we must be able to tackle it, but first ensuring that business is running within, outside the curfew hours. Business is running and business is going on. We must ensure that business is going on. And we must begin adopting measures and strategies that enable us to do business in a much safer way. Of course, security is an issue. It's a critical issue in our border areas. I think we're doing the best. We're doing the best we can. Number one, we helped solve the security problems of refugees and host communities by re-strategizing and having a program that is focusing on both. We made very huge contributions to the signing of the Kenya-Uganda MOU last year because of the work we had invested in peace building over 5 years. So we must now turn that MOU into a better model that is driven by the private sector. And I can tell you, even before the MOU was signed, 40% of products in Lodwar had begun coming from Uganda because the business sector went ahead of KRA and the police. So when they were stopping them and telling them, why are you traveling with goods you are not certified, we were telling them, why are you not at the border? Because that's where you're supposed to be. Custom is supposed to be at the border. So when you are not there, we cannot stop doing business. Take your officers to the border. Don't stop people on the road. And I think that is the insistence we've been saying. When an opportunity comes, every government organ should see what it's supposed to do. Move to the border, stop, tax whatever you want to tax, but don't stop the flow of goods and services. What are we doing as government to make business thrive? Is to work for a conducive environment. And this is why quite a number of legislations have been worked on. I think my CEC for Trade talked about quite a number of them. We have a Trade Licensing Act. We've had Finance Acts that involves stakeholder contributions. We have now a Trade and Markets Bill that we are considering, and many other pieces of legislation. And then on top of that, there are many MOUs we've signed with various development partners, very recently with USAID, with EU, with WFP, with UNHCR. Ease of doing business in the county. One program with Oxfam just the other day and many other NGOs that are lined up, so that at least we can be able to ensure what we are doing aligns with the county integrated development plan and must have a business value inside. Must have. I think that is what we've been underlining in every MOU. It must have a business value. Because how do we grow local business? How do we grow other businesses that will work with local businesses? Second, is a strong advocating for a strong business lobby. And I'm glad the chamber now has taken up its position. This wasn't there before. The chamber that was here 1 year ago was not functioning, was not working with us, was not helpful to the business community. In fact, many businesses shunned it because they didn't see leadership, they didn't see the focus. But I think now with a strong lobby, you will have many, many members. Because for us, even for single business permits, there has been an increase since 2013 from 2,100 members to 7,300 members. That is an opportunity for the chamber. If you strengthen, if people see the value of joining the chamber, then all these members are going to be members of a strong chamber and a strong lobby that can be able to lobby for businesses. You know, we are at a very strategic point of 3 international boundaries. Businesses from Sudan, Uganda, and Ethiopia, Southern Omo Zone. So we must build that so that we become the focal point, even for future LAPSSET, for this to be the hub for businesses there. Infrastructure is improving. I think, as you can see, 350 kilometers of modern tarmac, all the way from the border to Lokjai. The notorious bridge in Kainuk there's a brand new bridge now. And the rest of the infrastructure has been improved. And this is one of my disagreements with Richard Leakey, because you were saying there's no infrastructure in Turkana. Yet government is doing every effort to put up infrastructure, to improve the way we are doing business. So I have no doubt that the business community here is happy that that improvement is there, because I think that is one of the critical things that you look at. One of the things that we have also embarked on is the urban center spatial and development plans. We are rolling out the Lodwar Municipality Spatial Plan, Development Plan, still on course. I think what you've done is just a fraction of what we need to do. There's a lot more that we will expect the municipality board . Where we are working on spatial planning for Kakuma Kalobeyei, a very new municipality that is going to be created, so that it begins to grow as an organized urban center. And we'll be able to capture that refugee host community value to help grow things. There are other six urban centers whose development plans are awaiting approval by the county assembly. Some are along the lake, but all the others are along the LAPSSET corridor. We hope that those are going to be economic centers for businesses to develop, but also for investment to come in. One of the things that have gone unnoticed, particularly on the tarmac which the national government is doing, is the fiber optic infrastructure that has been finalized between Eldoret and the border, Nandapal. This is huge capacity. I think 2 times the capacity of the fiber optic that is laid between Mombasa and Nairobi. This is 140 core. The Nairobi one is about 40 something. Nairobi, Mombasa. So we are going to have the fastest internet speeds between Nandapal border all the way to Eldoret. I think that is going to be a very big opportunity for businesses here. We have already launched it. I think the main office is going to be at the border. That is the point where internet now will flow. So that's an opportunity for businesses. That's an opportunity for external businesses. In fact, IT companies can now be able to come and place themselves here and do business from this region. How do we move forward? I believe there are still opportunities to work with a strengthened chamber. And thank you, Buena President, for having come with a lot of vigor to improve on what your predecessor had done previously. And I believe the chamber's focus on the grassroots is going to be the game changer for business and commerce in Kenya. Because what do you export if you don't grow the grassroots that will enable that export to materialize? In our county, the balance of trade is very poor. What comes in is 89%. What goes out is a mere 11%. Despite all these opportunities that we are having, there is very little we are taking to West Pokot, we are taking to Uasin Gishu, we are taking to Nairobi, and I think probably zero or less than 1% that is going outside the country from this county. I think we've got the opportunity to change that. And I believe the new team, chamber team in the county, and the different county chamber teams in the North Rift, I think we can be able to change a lot and make sure that we increase our capacity of doing business, but also increase revenues coming in by generating a lot to be taken out. As you may be aware, the Council of Governors has been working on a strategy, economic strategy, that is economic strategy within to combat the effects of COVID-19. The North Rift as well has been finalizing its strategy, and very soon is going to be launching it in Nandi. The FCDC also has finalized its strategy. We've had a number of investment consultants coming to support us to develop strategies. But I would want to see much more of Chamber of Commerce involvement at that level. Before the launch of the NOREB strategy, your input will be very critical. You need to play a role inside it because it is business. We are only facilitators. So you may need to, the county chambers chairs, you may need to look for the CEO of NOREB so that you make sure that your input is carried in, as it is at the regional level, a lot of engagements on business and investment, particularly for larger projects, are going to be put in. Buena President, it will be good to get your voice on certain problems, like, for instance, the business community here has been fearing that the Takwel Dam, I think that famous Takwel white elephant, is no longer a white elephant, it's turning to be an opportunity. It is almost full. We've been fearing here that it will overflow and sweep away our businesses, particularly our goats and that were being sold in the local market here. Every year when there's flooding, it's swept away. But what's the opportunity? That water was meant to produce electricity, if it's doing. It's the most efficient hydropower in Kenya. But it's also meant for irrigation, huge irrigation. What's the opportunity here for the chamber to work closely with us in lobbying? Is to have national government pipe that water for irrigation. Because those who will irrigate is not government. Those who will irrigate will be the private sector. And those who will build businesses around it will be the private sector. I think that is how we create opportunities for yourselves by supporting us in lobbying these things, so that many businesses all over can be able to come here. It's the same argument we had. I am one of those advocates, and I still remain an advocate in the constitutional amendments of making sure that we have an equitable formula for revenue sharing. So that areas that, yes, have less population, but have vast lands and vast opportunities, give them the money, because it is from those populated areas where we have investors with money. They will definitely move here, and they will definitely get the services they have been getting there. They will still get those services here. And so let's work closely. As UNHCR Head of Sub Office said, we will aspire to have the chamber in all our coordination structures. Indeed, even in KISDIP, we need to be part of it. Coordination structures at the county, where you will play a bigger role to make sure that the interest of the business community is brought about. And of course, in all the trade the trade delegations that you go out. I think we participated in a few. Sometimes we participated in the tourism ones, until I told my team, why are you going to sell tourism outside, yet you have no hotels? Why don't you first bring investors to develop the hotels, develop the tourism products, and then go and market now? Because when you market, and then people come, and they don't find those products well organized, they will be disappointed and they'll go away completely. But I think we welcome that idea that we will be joining you in those visitations as we focus also to build our capacity here. I know there are a couple of other bigger investors. I think we have a company that uses groundnuts as raw material. They have challenged us. If we can produce 10,000 metric tons of groundnuts, it's a very big challenge. I think we're taking up that challenge. Albeit the difficulties of sustaining it, I think we will be looking at much more also private sector to bring that up. We have investors, Greek investors, who want to do agro farming and processing along the lake. They have kept quiet since COVID came, but they have been potentially wanting to work in Turkana and Marsabit to grow that. And many others that will be interested in the agri-processing value chain. So let's work closely and consult on all aspects, and I believe that we will be more than happy driving the growth of Turkana. And I still believe in my conclusion that it is through business that we can grow this county. Uasin Gishu is growing through business. Nairobi is growing through business. Kiambu is growing through business. Mombasa is growing through business. Why can't we? What is difficult? We can grow. And I think I look upon those who are in this room and many others and myself, who very soon will be a potential businessman, to be able to turn to turn that into reality. I think some of those who say Governor Nanoko is retiring after his term, you know, there are so many opportunities, whether it is still politics, whether it is still up there, or whether it is business. Because I see a very huge gap nobody is filling. And I think this is gaps we ourselves, particularly the professionals in Turkana, if you organize yourself and have a business mind, it is possible to succeed. And of course, with President Ngatia and Vice President, we can learn from those who've been in business for long, and learn from those experiences to grow ourselves. So I thank you all, and I hope that our partnership will continue, and we will work to support the chamber to deliver on its responsibilities. Asante sana, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Bwana Governor. We are really looking forward to welcoming you to the private sector. I think that is the best retirement strategy, isn't it? There is no retirement. There's a lot of work to be done. We look forward to engaging with you and going on further. I think we've had a really lovely morning. We've moved on into the afternoon. And at this point, I'd like to welcome Chamber Member, Mr. Benson Ebey, who will be giving us the vote of thanks. Welcome, and help us to close this morning.
Your Excellency, sir, the President of our Chamber, Vice President, our beautiful Chairman of Turkana County, Uzingishu, and all protocol observed. Tunashukuru sana. Unaweza kunikubalia ni nene na Kiswahili. Napongeza gavana wetu, president wetu wa chamber, vice wake kutoka kule kote Nairobi kuja hapa kwetu nyumbani Turkana. Asante sana. Tumekuwa tunakutarajia. Tulikuwa tunataka kusikia sauti. Tunashukuru sana. Na wenzangu wa chemba, wafanya biashara wenzangu, na washukuru sana pia kuwa pamoja nazi, na watu wa serikali wa kaunti wetu pia kufanya hiyo wakati bora sana. Kumalizia tu nasema napongeza gavana wetu, bravo, ongera, na Mungu akubariki. Na Mungu awabariki wote.
Thank you very much. I think I'd like to hand over to the CEO, Francis Dome. Francis had a number of announcements that needed to be made. Francis, if you can just come and give us the closing announcement. For me, is to say thank you very much. It's been an honor to serve both the chamber and also the county this morning as your moderator. I really look forward to the birthing and the fruition of the things that we have proposed today, and I look forward to a prosperous Turkana County. Thank you.
Asanteni wote kuja kwenu. Your Excellency, thank you very much for being with us today. Our Chamber President, thank you. Everyone who has been here, spent some time. Tunashukuru sana. LMS, Salimia Joe Sanders, tunashukuru sana kwa msaada wenu. Yeah, the UNHCR family, IFC family, all of us, tunashukuru sana. Kwa wakati huu, tunaomba kwamba kuna lunch imepangiwa some invited guests. Kwa hivyo hiyo mpango iko mbele yetu. As we leave here, we start with the governor and the chamber president watatoka. Tutakuwa na small interview there with the media team as the teams proceed for lunch. Asanteni sana. Sorry, no, naambiwa kwamba kabla tuende lunch nimesahau mzee wetu James Kalale anaweza kuja apate nafasi na
Entrepreneurs and investors as well. We want also to emulate our neighboring countries like Ghana, like Ethiopia, like Nigeria, so that also we can attract as many FDIs as possible, so that we can move from that mark of 620 billion US dollars to about 3 billion that Ghana is already doing. So we want to see where can we be able to improve and how can we be able to move our products to an opportunity within DRC or any other place. So those are the key things that we came to discuss here and see how we can be able then to implement that MOU.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you could kindly tell us why, as a development partner, you are interested in business in Turkana County. What's your interest?
Okay, the main interest of the international community is to have alleviation of poverty. And this is a very generous area, a very generous county, which has shared their land with the refugees, have allowed them to come here and live door to door, space to space with them. This is something that has ignited a very positive mechanism, because humanitarian support as such is not sufficient, had involved the development agencies, and under a plan that has been done together by the regional government, by the central government, by the UN agency, has developed the KISIDEP, which is a way to develop the area, mainly Turkana West, but also the overall Turkana county, and to have a win-win approach. This without considering people as only on their legal status, but considering them not only as human beings, which is what we all want, but also as part of a market, as part of a business, as part of a production system. And this is what makes the situation different. So all the agencies, now we have the World Bank that has arrived here with the 5 years investment to the IFC, target the area considering all of this. And the role of the businessman here is fundamental to develop the interest of everybody.
If you allow me, Your Excellency, as we went on with the discussions in this meeting, we have a delegation of about 45 members. 40 of them are companies from Kenya. 2 days ago, we led 40 companies in Turkey for a bilateral engagement, I mean a B2B engagement. They have been following this session, and Your Excellency, you mentioned the opportunities available here in energy, in geothermal, in various opportunities around the blue economy as well, and tourism, and they are very much interested. In fact, some of them will show you, they are saying they want to come immediately, Your Excellency, to speak to you, to see how they can also invest in this county. So it is a win-win. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Acha nimalizane na huyu alafu nakupatia hiyo. Nakupatia hiyo.
Vice Chair, you're not leaving him by himself. Chairman, we need to talk about this event. Tell us what has happened today and why this is important. So it's a quick conversation around today. Yes.
To me, this was a great testimony from the county government, fortifying that partnership and collaboration between the public sector and the private sector. To me, is a journey that I think we are starting on a better ground.
So what have we discussed today, and how do you see it improving the livelihoods of businesses?
Yes, what we discussed today in general and in summary is that this is a new turning point in terms of fighting poverty and creating wealth through a very vibrant private sector that engages with its government to be able to drive that particular agenda that enables businesses to thrive, create an enabling environment, and be able to take audit of these issues on day-to-day basis. For example, the issue of roundtables with the governor on quarterly basis is about, in itself, a monitoring and evaluation system, whereby you look at issues that are with you, or the challenges you are facing, and be able to deal with them as soon as possible. Because sometimes the way we react to situations, especially even some situations that affect businesses, it takes time to have solutions. But with this kind of engagement and conversation, I think we are going to move. We are going to move very fast. And I think, as the governor has put it, that this is if Kenya pursues this, where they embrace the chamber and move together, we are going to create a lot of wealth.
How do you foresee the small businesses, especially the businesses at the grassroots level? How do you see them interacting in this engagement that we have talked about today? How do you see them participating in it?
Yes. It is actually through one, sensitization, trainings and education, and making them compliant to modern global dynamics. The world has changed. It's not the way it used to be 50 years ago. Now we are dealing with the huge economies that are out behaving like sharks, and we shall be there only as enslavement, because we can create, we may have pressure on our businesses, but we don't give them a lot of knowledge to be able to interact with the world at that level. Because look, like now, case of China. China was able to bring their people 40 years ago, over 1 billion people to middle life. I mean, not middle life, to middle economy. We call it medium economy. But now us, we have not picked up. Small businesses are not growing. They lack access to finance. They are struggling. Policies are not very friendly. They seem to have issues even with their own systems that are not helping them. Like the other day when we came from Lokchoga, we went through for those 6 days, and we learned one thing, that we have a long way to go. So the chamber has a very important role to play to ensure that we are very close to businesses. We provide them. We know them one-to-one, what they are doing, which sector are they? Are they in mining? Are they in fishing? And then this issue of informal businesses. You know, actually, we look at even Turkana, 90% or 98% is informal. Everything is informal. And what does informality means in business sector? It means these are people who lack almost everything. They are just struggling. Yeah.
Right. Finally, cross-border trade is very important to this county. What role will the chamber play in enhancing it, just so that we can expose the businesses to the various...
I remember I shared that with the CP yesterday, and I told him that there is an understanding between Kenya and Uganda. There's an MOU, which I was expecting it to come very clearly. We don't need to go around it. What we need to do is to strengthen that MOU by chamber coming into it, even at the national level and international level, because chamber president is a chair of Great Lakes region chamber platform, and he talks to envoys, very senior people at the international level. So since this agreement was signed between Uganda and Kenya, and of course these were the two presidents, what I was looking at, the chamber can actually try also to raise resources that will enable it to implement some of those deliverables that were set by those governments, Kenya, Uganda. And of course, you know, it brings in West Pokot, Turkana, Karamojo. And then from there, maybe we can even expand to bring in South Sudan at some later point. But for now, the chamber, and I shared with him, let us see how we can do. And I told him, because you are a national figure, it is very easy for you to sell that agenda and also support the Turkana County government to be able to divine ways on how we can partner and be able to get resources to implement, especially now like on issue of infrastructure, issue to do with training and sensitization of business along the border on their rights, because there's a lot of suppression by our own systems, especially Kenya Revenue has issues with the businesses because people don't even understand what types of taxes are they supposed. So there's a lot of non-tariff barrier challenges in this business across the border. And then that is about the security. So once the chamber picks that, as they run with it as a private sector affair, at the same time they're helping the county government, national government, regional government to implement that MOU.
Any final thoughts on today's event?
It was a successful event. I have no other word.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.